everybody. Hope you're having an amazing weekend. We're just getting rolling here on SMG Viewers Comments. With any luck, I should be back in Canada safely by now. Hopefully, I had an amazing time in Europe. I'm kind of shooting all this ahead of time so I don't have to scramble when I get home. I'm actually shooting this on August the 2nd, so hopefully all the stuff I've planned out worked well, all the fan meetups went well, and all the stuff we hope to have out on Spectre Digital happened as well. By the way, go check out spectredigital.com. We've got some cool stuff going on there, that's for sure. Anyway, let's get right to your comments and questions right now.
Hey Glenn, greetings from NC here. Would you please explain what exactly DI boxes are used for? My Scarlett interface connects wonderfully to my computer via USB and gets me many great recordings. I only play through amp sims, and if I want to re-amp my dry to guitar track, I just send it through one of the outs on the back of the interface and the front of the interface, but this time with a different amp sim. Are DI boxes really that big of a necessity when using amp sims?
Well, DIs are great for splitting a signal. You can record the direct sound off your guitar, and then you can have one go out to a real amp or to your amp sim, like if it's a hardware amp sim. You didn't quite say what you're using there. If you're going out of the back of your interface into an amp sim, like software or hardware, that's kind of critical though, so we know what's going on there. Details, guys! The show moves along so much better when you tell us exactly what the fuck you're doing. That one's kind of critical, actually. It's like, are you just going out and then back in? That doesn't make any sense. Just change the fucking plug-in. But if you are going to a hardware one, I'm gonna hope you're using a hardware one, you'd still probably want to get a reamp box. You'll just get a cleaner signal. And that's why we use DI boxes as well, so we can get cleaner signals. The Scarlett's fine. They're pretty good, but a bunch of my counterparts will say they can always tell when they get a DI from a Scarlett because it has a certain sound to it, whereas something like this, a dedicated box, like say from Countryman, which will only cost you a couple $100, will last you a lifetime and has an amazingly clean sound. Trust me, this is worth the investment. I've said it over and over and over again. Don't be so fucking cheap, just go get one. Stop making excuses, you cheap fuck.
Hey Glenn, love the channel. Is there a certain volume or decibel level coming out of the studio monitors you recommend for the best results when mixing? Also, have you ever experienced ear fatigue from mixing multiple songs in a row? Thanks, man, for all you do.
Yeah, I generally tend to try to mix at a very quiet volume so I can hear what's going on, and that way I don't destroy my hearing at my job. That's kind of a thing as well. You know, just I like it fairly quiet, and then I'll crank things up to impress the clients or whatnot, but generally when I'm mixing all day, turn the fucking volume down, like conversation level or a little quieter. Like if you can hear if you're dumb enough to let the band sit in the studio while you're mixing and you can't hear what's going on because they've got a conversation going on, yeah, you're mixing at the right volume and it's time to throw them out of the fucking room. And yes, ear fatigue is a thing, so I highly recommend taking breaks, and taking naps especially will help clear ears out. Never be afraid to take a nap. Don't feel guilty for taking a nap. Just go fucking do it already.
Glad I bought a Marshall MG head with a matching cab for $100 and it sounds like absolute dog shit. I was thinking about buying a couple of used speakers to only replace 2 or just one of the 4 speakers and leave the others disconnected. Basically making a 2x12 and I can afford the rest. What do you think, this is a good idea, or should I just wait until I can afford all 4 to get a good 2x12?
Okay, if you're gonna disconnect speakers, do them in pairs because you wanna make sure you get your impedance to match. This is why knowing some basic electronics, like the difference between a series and a parallel circuit, is gonna make all the difference. Because if you have an impedance mismatch, you could wind up blowing your amp. Very important you learn this stuff. I'm gonna have a video coming out. This was on suggestion a while back. A bunch of guys said, you know, skills home studio engineers should learn that aren't necessarily about recording. I thought that was a fantastic idea. I started typing that up this morning. So hopefully that's gonna be out even before this episode airs, because I think it could do a lot of good. That's gonna be one of the main points of learning about Ohm's Law and how to wire a speaker cabinet, because you're going to need to know this shit. What I'd recommend, yeah, probably disconnect 2 and then do 2, like 8 ohms to make a 16 ohm speaker load on your amp. That should work. Just wire them in series like that. You should be fine. Here's the thing, if you mix good speakers with the bad speakers, you might not be able to hear it in the room, but your mic will. So if you're micing your cabinet for recording with good speakers, just mic the good speaker. If you're out in the room and you're wanting to hear a huge improvement in your tone, change them all.
Regarding the guy who wanted to get a guitar to celebrate having lived longer than expected, obviously that's a very personal situation. I recently quit drinking. The money I used to spend on booze, I set aside for taking out the kids and treats for myself. The for me treat when I got the 3 months sober was going to be a new guitar, but instead I bought a kit guitar, and so I have fun of assembling that. And before I do that, I plan to alter the shape of the body and make it unique. So not only is it a treat to myself, but it'll be something that is not exactly like another guitar out there. Maybe you could look at guitar kits and do something similar.
Dude, that's a fucking phenomenal suggestion. Again, you're kind of buying an experience there instead of just buying something. A kit would be a wonderful idea for that. So there is that. And again, I recommend the go experiencing. Here's something I did for a life achievement for myself. I quit smoking back in 2008, and I bought myself a vintage Neumann U87. I've still got that mic, and it rarely fucking gets used because honestly, I've got better in my closet these days. You know, I've got some absolutely killer stuff from Lewitt and Austrian Audio and Roswell and all these other brands that I'm working with. So yeah, the vintage U87 is actually for sale. Yeah, it's going to be north of $4,000 if anybody's actually curious. It's definitely worth something to a lot of people out there, but yes, I would put it up for sale if somebody's serious about it. So hit me up if you are serious. But here's the thing. Has it actually made my life better? Not really. Like I said, I've got better microphones now, I think. And honestly, the thing, big enjoyment I get out of life is going out and doing stuff. Like going to Japan earlier this year was incredible. Going to the Philippines with Henning and crew and Perfecto and the 60 Cycle Hum guys and Colin Scott and everybody else, Andy the Guitar Geek. That was an awesome experience. That gives me joy in life, is traveling around the world and spending time with my friends. That personally is what works for me. You know, buying things is cool, but they still say that the happiest people in the world are people who spend their money on experiences, and I would tend to agree with that statement. That being said, keep your eyes peeled for the 70,000 tons of metal cruise. That's a cool experience.
Glenn, people want expensive American-made guitars. Not pedals, not accessories, not metal boxes with loads of dials on them. Expensive American-made guitars.
What about expensive German-made guitars? How about that? This guitar is fucking incredible. Or expensive Canadian-made guitars. Anybody want one of these? This is a vicious guitar. This thing's absolutely magnificent. That's my question to you guys. Does it really have to be made in America? Leave a comment below.
I saw a B-52 amp head at my local pawn for $189. Or I heard someone call it the poor man's rectifier. Should I take the dive?
Well, the sad truth is most tube amp heads all sound about pretty damn close to each other. There's maybe a 10% variance from amp to amp to amp. The important thing is the speaker cap. So yeah, go grab the amp and then go dig up a couple of used awesome speakers. You know, maybe some older vintage 30s if you can find them, or the new ones. The new ones are killer too. But maybe go get a Hesu Demon cab or something like that, and you're definitely gonna like the results you get.
What can I say to my friend who wants to buy a signature pickup because he says he wants a clearer sound? I've tried to tell him and show him that it's all big companies wanting to take money, and he isn't budging and being completely stubborn.
Well, you can tell your friend maybe he should try watching this show. I'll try talking to him. Hey, moron! Don't waste your money on new pickups! It's a fucking scam! Unless your guitar is feeding back uncontrollably, your pickups are absolutely fine. Get some better speakers, fuckwit!
I don't like this video. It gives you an uncomfortable feeling that the mysticism of tone is not real and I am not special. Also, what about the countless hours arguing about tone and tubes? You're saying those are just wasted hours? I don't like that. My ego doesn't like that, so you must be wrong.
That's literally every single Facebook comment about that video. All right, guys, this episode is brought to you by my company, Spectre Digital. This is how I keep the show rolling, is selling you guys some awesome products. We should have Extinction Level 2.0 out and rolling right now, and we've got all kinds of cool upgrades. We've got extra toms, a whole bunch of extra snares, all tuned differently. There's all kinds of cool presets, including ones by yours truly. It's on sale over at SpectreDigital.com. Links in the description below. We've also got the Singularity virtual bass plugin, and over at Spectre Academy, we've also, of course, got some awesome deals on courses by Scott Elliott, Guitar Tone Mastery, Henning Pauly's Complete Guide to Songwriting. If you're doing home music production, we've got you covered. Go check it out. Links in the description below. Now it's time for what you guys have all been waiting for, the Butthurt of the Week.
Obsesses over V's because of the metal image, jumps in a Dodge minivan.
Hey there, dumb chugs. I don't think I've ever seen a more aptly named user. Wow. So here's the thing, why minivans are way more metal than some flashy piece of shit. Simply put, because you can put a full drum set and a couple of guitar cabs and your PA into a fucking minivan and get to the gig. One of the dumbest musicians I ever know, drummer, big surprise, you know, he had this giant fucking kit with two fucking kick drums, you know, 6 toms and all that. And what did he drive? He drove a fucking Trans Am because it was cool. It's like, hey, moron, how are you gonna get your drums to the gig? Because they're sure as fuck not gonna fit into that, that's for sure. Metal minivans, yes, might be good for soccer moms, but they're also the unsung hero of the independent metal band. And if you think otherwise, well, you're just a dumb motherfucker now, aren't you?
If you want to write a 3-minute song and it's great, people will play it again and again. If you write a 9-minute song and it's only okay, people won't even finish it once.
Truth!
Problem I have with studio monitors is that I simply don't have no decent room to set them up in. It's not just a tenable situation for my space. I can't set them up in the optimal way as described. Should I still use monitors anyway, even though there's no possibility at any point to treat the room? It would be so much easier to mix on headphones.
So what I'm getting from that is you're too cheap to buy monitors. No, you need monitors, you cheap fuck, seriously. And here's the solution. Cup meet ball. Guess what? That sits on your desktop. You can angle it up to your ears so it takes a lot of the room reflections out of the situation and you can hear what you need to hear. Don't be so fucking cheap. Go get yourself a set of these Callies. They are fucking amazing. And they've got a bass module for it that fits right on your tabletop. Stop making excuses. Go get yourself a set of monitors. These will change your life. I'm not saying that. Nobody's paying me to say that here. I mean, like, I did a demo for these a while back, and I'm like, I'm definitely hanging on to these for my desktop situation when we do open up a second edit suite, because these are fucking great. I'm very impressed with them. They fix a lot of the problems. And no, don't ever say you can't put up acoustic treatment. All you lack is a little bit of imagination. It is absolutely amazing what you can do with some rigid fiberglass, some cloth, some microphone stands, and a bit of baling wire. You don't have to mark up your walls. All you have to do is think a little bit smarter about how you're setting up your acoustic treatment. It can be done. You just have to think outside the box.
Yeah, right, and Justice for All didn't work. It just brought them their first Grammy and stuff. And many people up to now think it's their best album. No, not everybody thinks that, but to say it didn't work is just ignoring the huge success that album was. It took me years to even notice that the bass wasn't there, so obviously some listening habits just aren't as hard as some people think they are. But I don't understand why it works so well with a proper bass. Yeah, I've heard the Justice for Jason's versions and all that, but I think the bass isn't really missing in the original. Maybe it's a special set of songs that just go well without bass. Maybe it's the sound of the guitars which are EQ'd in a way so they know to fill the gap which make it work. I don't know.
Well, the last part of that statement was absolutely right. I don't know. That's correct, you don't know. Because Metallica didn't win a fucking Grammy for that album, you dumb motherfucker. Jethro Tull beat them for the Grammy for Best Metal Performance. And if you just said, what do you mean Jethro Tull? Jethro Tull isn't metal. That's exactly right. That's exactly what every metalhead on earth said when Jethro Tull won that Grammy. Metallica did not win a Grammy until they put out the Black Album, you know, the one that had bass guitar on it.
Quick question. I know you said we should use studio monitors, but I'm using an old hi-fi system connected to my audio interface. Is this a bad idea, or is this type of speaker similar to studio monitors? I'm probably guessing I should get monitors, to be honest.
Yes, get monitors. I can't say it clearly enough. Why is this so fucking difficult? Go to the store, go on Amazon, go to Sweet One, buy fucking monitors. Stop arguing, just fucking do it, you stupid fucks. I can't say it enough fucking times. Oh, should I get mine? Yes! Like talking to a fucking brick wall sometimes, I fucking swear. Really, do you guys even think about this shit before you even do the slightest amount of research before you type this fucking shit in? Just Google, should I get monitors? It's pretty fucking simple. You do know how Google works, right? Fuck!
Hey Glenn, have you tried the Gorilla guitars from Quebec? They're very well made and one of the best I've tried for tuning stability.
Now, I've been talking back and forth with Gorilla Guitars for quite a while, and we've been in talks to do something, still waiting for something to show up. Hey, Gorilla Guitars, if you're watching, please PM me. You know, let's get shit rolling here. I mean, like, we've only been talking about a year, you know? Let's see what we can do. I'd love to have one on the show. I love the small independent builders, like Hampus from Berlin. Oh my God, this guitar is amazing. Yes. This is a fucking baritone with an Evertune on it. It's one of the wildest guitars I've got in my collection. It is absolutely fucking mental. You should definitely check the video out on that. And of course, this awesome custom V from Vicious Guitars in Toronto. If you haven't watched the video on that either, check it out. This guitar is a work of art. And it plays amazing too.
To your reply to the young chap's last comment about experiencing life was the most honest and humble thing I've heard in a long time. It was utterly refreshing to hear. Thank you for being you, Glenn. The world is a brighter place with humans like you.
Ah, shucks. That just makes me feel good. That's going back to what we were talking about earlier about the guy who kind of wanted a bucket list guitar because he lived longer than he did. And I kind of suggested maybe you shouldn't go buy something. You maybe should go do something. Go experience something with your family. Go experience something with your friends. Just go out and see what life has to offer. Yes, we're conditioned to keep constantly buying things, and that, unfortunately, isn't the key to having a happy life, in my opinion. It can only get you so far. Yes, you're going to buy something, and then the thrill of that goes away, and then you're back right where you started. Whereas if you go and experience things, go to new lands, go to new countries, and see how people live life a little bit differently than you. Those experiences, those are the things you remember, and that's what builds your happiness. Happiness isn't just a one-time thing. It's something you build upon, and it becomes a way of life if you let it. Yes, I yell and scream, but honestly, you guys made me the happiest I've ever been in my life because I don't have to get up and work on an assembly line anymore. I get to do this for a living. I get to talk to you guys. I try and give some advice, and sometimes it gets a little frustrating when I keep saying the same thing and it doesn't quite sink in, but nothing thrills me nothing thrills me more than getting up first thing in the morning, working on a script, looking at some comments and whatnot, and making a video for you guys and hopefully helping someone along the way. That's what really brings me joy in life. And I highly recommend doing something like that as well. Go find something that will bring you joy. If that means getting out there and traveling somewhere you've never been before, experiencing new things, trying new foods, whatever, go out there, get out there, go do it. It's a big fucking world. You only live life once, so why not go see what it's all about? Anyway, you guys have an incredible weekend. Thank you so much for all your support over the years and whatnot. I'll see you back here again next weekend with another episode of SMG Viewers Comments. So please keep those comments and questions coming because I'm more than happy to answer. And as always, please check out Spectre Digital. It's what allows me to keep this whole thing rolling. Once again, check out Singularity. Go check out Extinction Level Event 2.0 and the Prism platform as well. If it's not out by now, it's going to be real freaking soon. I know that for sure. I'll have links to everything in the description below. Once again, Spectre Digital. Take care, guys. I'll see you next week.